Hi everyone, welcome today to my channel. The first meal I'm going to be cooking is a slow cooker chicken stew. So I've got a heap of vegetables here that I'm going to cut up and put into the slow cooker. I've already got my slow cooker up to heat, so here's all the vegetables that I'm going to be using, and I've also got a sweet potato that I'm going to add in and a parsnip as well, just to give it that old-fashioned sort of a taste. I really love parsnips in soups and things like that, and also got an onion there. So I'm going to also add in some garlic into it as well, and then this is just going to cook for the day in the slow cooker. And then I'm going to thicken it up later on. I'm going to also add some chicken stock to it so it can just sort of cook and brew in that. So this is a really easy one. I'm using chicken thigh today, but I'm just going to cut up the vegetables first, then cut up the chicken thigh and put it all in together. That can sit there for the day, and then I'll get started on the next meal. I love this breadboard. I got this one off Amazon, and you just peel the vegetables or the fruit into this tub here, and then you can just tip it into the bin, and you can change the tubs over because I've got, you know, there's four Tupperware, or there's 4 plastic containers inside it, so it's great for chopping fruit or vegetables up and then putting it into the fridge because they've all got lids on them as well. So it's a really good versatile breadboard.
A little bit high on the feeling, can't seem to focus. In the corner of my best friend's sofa, you were getting by some rum and cola.
I've already got my cooker up to heat. I find it a lot easier doing it that way, so then it's already getting warm by the time I put, like it's already hot enough by the time I put the vegetables in there or the meat. If my family know I'm using this parsnip, they probably won't even eat this stuff. So I'm just going to do a sneaky and hide it in there, which you can do with stews and soups. That's the best thing. That's the way my kids eat so many vegetables, is when I make a soup or a stew, I find. They'll eat the soup like crazy, but give them some boiled or steamed vegetables and it's a different kettle of fish.
Smoking outside, trying to get your attention. You make me nervous. In the corner of my best friend's sofa, you were getting by some rum and cola. Wasn't brave enough yet just to talk to you. Not a smooth talker under pressure. Sweaty palms ain't making it much better. Something about you feels so special. Pretty ugly from the minute that I met you. Met the other night, but I can't get you off my mind. Not a smooth talker under pressure. Sweaty palms ain't making it much better. Something about you feels so special. Pretty ugly from the minute that I met you.
chop up the chicken thigh. I've got 2 little packets of this, so I'm going to keep one for this meal and cooking another one for the chicken chassua that I'm making as well.
Would you follow me, or would you let it be? If I leave tonight, we could do this right. We'll find the remedy. Or would you stay with me now till the morning light? Before you turn away, I just want you to know that I didn't throw your stuff away. Before you make up your mind that I'm nowhere to find, I'm standing right here. I know that I told you we're over. I swear that I'm sober. Just listen, I miss you.
Okay, so that will cook now for the day, probably 4 or 5 hours, turned off this afternoon. I'm going to keep it on high for a bit, and then later on I turn it on to, I switch it over to low. It just depends on your cooker. Everyone's cooker's different. Some heat up quicker than others. This one gets pretty hot, so I'm just going to see how it goes and monitor it through the day. But the best thing about these slow cookers is you don't have to keep going to the stove top and making sure it's not bubbling over and things like that. So that looks nice, and I am going to just leave that now, and then I'm going to start on the chicken chassua. Okay, so now I'm going to make a chicken chassua. I'm just making the Maggi one. I've got mushrooms, carrots. I'm going to put parsley in it. It doesn't say to put parsley, I don't think. No, it doesn't, but I've got mushrooms, onion, carrots. I've got chicken thigh, and I've also got tomato paste that I'm going to put in this meal. The thing is, you are supposed to cook this on the stove and brown the chicken, but I'm doing a pretty big cook up today, so I've got a few things going. So I'm just going to put it all into this oven dish, and it'll brown and cook up in the oven. It's just going to be like a casserole. So yeah, when things like this, you're busy and things like that, you can cook it that way. You're probably just not going to have the chicken as brown as what it might taste better if it's browner, but you know, it'll all cook in there together in the oven, and then that's cooked for dinner tonight. Then I don't have to worry about dinner. But like I said, this is a great meal to freeze along with the chicken stew I've made.
Maybe I'm just too weak, maybe I'm just afraid of being alone. Well, I don't care, 'cause right now I feel the love that we said we would burn. Oh, I know that you feel it too. I know that I told you we're over. I swear that I'm sober. Just listen, I miss you. And I know that I said all these things, but now when you're with her, I can see that you miss me. Would you stay till the morning light, or would you follow me, or would you let it be? If I leave tonight, we could do this right. We'll find the remedy. Or would you stay with me now till the morning light? Stay till the morning light. Or would you follow me, or would you let it be? If I leave tonight, we could do this right. We'll find the remedy. Or would you stay with me now till the morning light? Would you stay till the morning light, or would you follow me, or would you let it be? If I leave tonight, we could do this right. We'll find the remedy. Or would you stay with me now till the morning light? Till the morning light. Till the morning light. Till the morning light, yeah. Till the morning light. Till the morning light. Till the morning light, yeah. I know that I told you we're over. I swear that I'm sober. Just listen, I miss you. And I know that I said all these things, but now when you're with her, I can see that you miss me.
We've been on and off again and again. I don't know which way we're going, no control. You push me, then you pull me back in. Don't know if I can decipher how your mind works. Yeah, you leave me wondering what it's like to feel your skin. I will keep on trying till you give me a sign. Give me a sign. Oh, give me a sign. Baby, give me a sign. Just give me one more. You leave me hanging, begging for more. Think that I'm addicted to this, can't resist to be a little.
So it's 1 cup of water and add tomato paste. So I'm just going to put a whole thing of tomato paste in this. I've just got a thing of tomato paste there and I'm going to add it. I like these little sachets because I find if I buy the tins or the little tins are okay too because you use them in one meal. But if I buy those big jars, which are so much cheaper, but they just go mouldy. So I just buy it this way now in the sachet. And then I feel good because it's only early and I've sort of got dinner ready for when the boys get home this afternoon. So I'm going to give that a good stir and pour it over the top. Cover and simmer for 30 minutes. So I'm just going to do that in the oven. I might even put some alfoil on top of it and then take the alfoil off a little bit later.
For it, cause I want you close. I'm so exposed when you're keeping me wondering. You know I'd do anything to be in your arms again. So give me a sign. Give me a sign. Oh, give me a sign. Baby, give me a sign.
This is a really easy recipe. I haven't made it in such a long time. My mother-in-law makes this, and I remember when my oldest boy was a baby, she made me a big batch of it and we froze it, and it was so easy. I'm not sure if I'm going to get the quantities right here because I don't have the recipe. So it's a real basic recipe. It's a really good idea if you want to get rid of potatoes, like if you've got some sort of older style potatoes and you want to sort of get rid of them. So what I've got here is a stack of potatoes. I'm not sure how many potatoes I've got here, maybe 1.5 kilos. And I'm going to use 2 onions as well. And it's just cheddar cheese and water. Okay, so I've got a big Banquet frying pan, which is my mum's that I've borrowed. And I'm going to cook it in that. And yeah, I'll show you how it works. So I'm going to chop these up. Not too fine because I don't want them to get too mushy. It's all about the right consistency with the potato and not stirring it too much. You don't want to like break the potato up, which I probably will anyway. And I do use a whole block of this in there.
Talking to you, and here we go again. Staying up all night to see if you've been texting me. Where do we go from here? I wanna go all in. So give me a sign. I could go for this, no more tricks. We could take things slow. Say you think about it too. When the lights go out and there's no doubt that I should be with, that I should be. We've been on and off again and again. I don't know which way we're going, no control. You push me, then you pull me back in. We've been on and off again and again. I don't know which way we're going, no control. You push me, then you pull me back in.
Now I'm just going to chop these up, not too chunky, but not too fine either. It's basically what you're doing is steaming the potato in the water, and then just like obviously adding the onion and the cheese to it, and then giving it a really nice consistency with the cheese sauce.
So give me a sign. Give me a sign. Oh, baby, just give me a sign. Baby, give me a sign. Just give me one more. Talking to you and here we go again. Staying up all night to see if you've been texting me. Where do we go from here? I wanna go all in. So give me a sign. Yeah. Give me a sign. Give me a sign. Baby, give me a sign. Just give me a sign. Got a dopamine rush, got a major league crush when you're next to me. Got my heart upon my sleeve, can I hide the way I feel when you're next to me, girl? Got the kick in every move and I fought just like a fool for you, for you. Wish I knew just what it was, but why should I make a fuss? Just stay next to me, girl, next to me, girl. Something special, don't know why, something special that I like about you.
So it's now just sort of bubbling away and cooking there, so I'm just going to keep that going and then just monitor it occasionally. And now I'm just going to make some Weet Bix Bliss balls. So I've got a heap of leftover Weet Bix crumbs here. I've got coconut. I'm going to add some chocolate chips with it, and I've also got some vanilla essence. I'm not going to use dates. I'm using the Weet Bix recipe as a guide, but I'm not going to use dates. I'm going to use apricots, and I might need a little bit of rice syrup just to make it sticky.
There's a mystery entwined, something bigger to define about you, about you. Am I the only one to see? Got me down on my knees, taken by your gravity. And I just know you got that something special about you. Lock and key, but I don't wanna be free when I'm next to you. You're like honey to a bee, I go crazy for the sweet when I'm next to you, girl. Got the kick in every move and I fought just like a fool.
Apricots. As long as you've got like something sticky, like a sticky consistency there. Also about a half a cup of coconut. And then I'm just going to add some water. It's going to be about 3 tablespoons of water. And if it's not sticky enough, I'm just going to add some. You can add some honey or some rice syrup is what I'm doing. So I've got a jar over here that I haven't really got through. So just to make it a little bit more sticky, I'm going to add some rice syrup to it. I find with these recipes you do have to tweak them a lot so they roll together. Sometimes it doesn't always work depending on your ingredients. See, it's getting sticky, but it's still not as sticky as I would like, so I might even have to add a little bit more water to it, but it's getting there. You know, once you put them in the fridge they will harden up a bit. But just probably a little bit more water because I think I put a little bit too much coconut. I didn't really measure out the coconut as such.
Something special about you.
After I do this, I'm going to check out how our potato's going. Hopefully it's soft enough soon so I can add the cheese, and I'll grate the cheese up. So I've got 14 of these in here now. So they're fine. It's just going to go in the fridge now, and I'll put the lid on them, and then I'm going to freeze them. That's it. And you can freeze them once I'll probably just freeze them in the container. I might just put them in clip seal bags later as just single little ones because I'd only have one. I'd only put one of them in the lunchbox a day. And yeah, you can put chia seeds in it, dates, prunes, apricots, sultanas, anything you want. I know a lot of people make them with oats, I'm pretty sure, but I just use Weet Bix. There's always a heap left over and crumbles in the bottom. So that's gonna go in the freezer now. Now we'll have a look at our potato. Okay, so I'm still just simmering it away with the lid on it. As you can see, I am breaking the potato up a little bit, which I'm trying not to do. But, you know, you just got to make sure the potatoes aren't too close to each other, and sometimes they stick on top, but you want to make sure that they're cooking all the way through as well. So I just want to keep that going. And yeah, before I can put the grated cheese on. Some of the potatoes are cooked and some aren't. With the potato, onion and cheese that I'm making, you may need to top it up occasionally with hot water if it starts getting Like if it starts simmering away, you just need to put some more hot water in it if the potatoes haven't cooked. So you just do have to monitor it and keep going back and making sure the potatoes are not getting too mushy either. But okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add the cheese now, because it's starting to get to the point where it's nearly cooked. So I'm going to grate a whole block of this. Yeah, it's a lot, a whole block. But this makes really good cheese sauces, and it just makes the potato, onion and cheese taste really good. I'm not sure if you can use any other cheese. I haven't used any other cheese but this one. But these are so handy to have. I always have these in my stockpile cupboard. I have a large one in the stockpile cupboard as well, but luckily I had this small one because this is perfect just for the recipe that I'm using today. It is sort of bubbling, but I'm trying to monitor it because I'm not used to this frying pan. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to put all the cheese on there. So this will make the sauce with the water. I did need to top it up with some water a little bit here and there, because it was getting, you know, the water was evaporating. Well, it goes into the potatoes, that's what it does, as the potatoes get softer. So I'm just going to try and just sort of spread it out a bit. It's hard not to sort of break the potato up too much either. I'm just going to sort of leave it like that for a bit now and put the lid back on it and just sort of get the sauce to a point where it's getting thicker and thicker, and the potatoes will eventually cook all the way through. There's a few potatoes in there that are a little bit hard, so once it all cooks in and the potatoes get really starchy, and the cheese will make a really nice sauce with the starchy potato sauce as well, I guess. Okay, while the potato's still cooking away, I'll just show you the mushroom or the chicken chasseur. So I've put the alfoil on it to cook it, and I put it on low, like not low, but about 150, which is pretty low, I guess. 150 for an hour and a half. It looks really delicious now. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the alfoil off it and just put it in for a little bit longer, just so the sauce evaporates a little bit more and just gets a little bit thicker. And then yeah, there's a few meals there, but we're going to have some for tonight. Or we'll have this meal for the night, maybe even some for tomorrow. So this is an easy meal to freeze. If I wasn't having it tonight, I would freeze it, but this is our dinner tonight, and I might even put a little bit of rice with it to bulk it up a bit, and then we might have some more for tomorrow night as well. So here's the potato and cheese. It's still getting, the cheese is still slightly melting. It's taking a while for the cheese to sort of melt, but we want it to melt all the way down without trying to stir it too much. And it will get to a point where the cheese will make the sauce thicker, and you'll have a nice potato, onion and cheese meal there. And looking at the crock pot now, the chicken stew that I made earlier, this was the first thing I started. I might just give that a bit of a stir now. It's been on for a few hours and it's been on high. So now I'm just going to drop it down low, and I'm just going to give it a bit of a stir around because the chicken's sort of starting to stick together, as you can see there. So I'm going to keep this on for the day still, because I want it to be, you know, the potatoes and the carrots and the sweet potato. It's still hard, so I'm going to put it down low now and keep it on for the whole day. And then we'll come back later and I'll make like a thickening sauce for it. It's already got like the chicken stock in it, which you would have seen me add. And it's also got all the chicken juices in there. Celery would be really nice in this. But yeah, so I'm just going to thicken that up later, and I'll show you how I do that. It's a really instant sort of a thickener. And yeah, there's a lot of food there. There's still a fair bit of fluid in there. I might need to add some more liquid later. And yeah, that would be probably just, it's already got potatoes and sweet potatoes in there, so I probably won't add too much else with it. Like, I don't think we'll have a side of rice with it or anything like that. But this will just get put down into containers, and it'll be in the freezer for, you know, another few meals for the family. But yeah, if you want to make it go further, yeah, some rice would be great, or some quinoa, or even just you know, some Turkish bread cut up as a side, you know, to make it go a little bit further. Okay, so it's pretty much cooked as far as I'm concerned now. Look, you are going to get burnt bits on the bottom there, or not burnt so much as where the potatoes stuck to the pan, unless you just keep on monitoring it. I had it up a little bit high to start. Well, during the process I turn it up and down, because with frying pans I feel like sometimes the heat's not getting to them quick enough, so I did do that. You just have to, you know, you want it more saucy and things like that, you just add more water to it, but I'm pretty happy with that. And that's a pretty, you know, there's a fair bit of food there. So what I'm going to do now is, it's just all about not stirring it too much. I'm going to let it cool down, and then I'm going to put it into Tupperware containers. These, I'll be putting them into like containers here, and that's just like, that'll do us for one meal. We've got 2 family meals there of the potato, onion and cheese, and it tastes really delicious. What I just need to do now is add some salt and pepper to it, just you know, just give it a little bit of seasoning in there. Then I'll leave that to cool down, and then I will put it into the containers. So yeah, you are just going to get, but I did have to add a lot of water in the process to it, just to make it like thicker and thicker. So, you know, you do have to monitor it and watch it. But yeah, so that's just an easy potato, onion and cheese for you to pop into your freezer or have for dinner, and you can have it as a side dish or whatever. Got 2 big batches there. That's a lot of potato. It's a lot of meals for the family, you know, really good size. So that's the potato, onion and cheese, and it's really delicious. I just had a little bit for lunch. Good idea for barbecues as well, just to take over with a salad. Here's the chicken that I made earlier. I've got the mushrooms in there, and it's gotten very thick as well. I did actually put it back in the oven with the alfoil back on it, because the carrots were a little bit hard, but it's a little bit brown around the sides there. That's just where the tomato paste is stuck to it while it's been cooking. It looks really nice, and it's nice and moist. So yeah, this is going to be our dinner tonight, and I might actually put something with it. I have got some Turkish bread I might put into the air fryer and put alongside with it. It's definitely a really nice thick mixture, and I did have it on for a few hours because I put it on a low heat. So this would be another great meal to freeze, along with the potato and along with the stew. So the stew is still cooking. Okay, now I'm just going to make the thickener for the sauce, just to thicken up this the water that's in it. And it's just going to be 2 tablespoons of corn flour and 2 tablespoons of water. May need more than that, we'll see. Going to make some chocolate chip muffins. I'm probably going to try and make some small ones, probably like this size, but I would like to make some larger ones too. So I'm just going to see how I go with the mixture. 2 cups of plain flour, 1/2 cup of white sugar. I'm using caster because I don't have any white sugar. 3 teaspoons of bicarb. 1/2 teaspoon of salt. It's 1/3 cup of vegetable oil. So I'm just going to make like a little divot in the middle there. And 3/4 cup of milk. And 1 egg. In this bowl, it's 2 tablespoons of brown sugar. And 3 tablespoons of white sugar. These are just a perfect size for the bento lunch boxes, but I am going to try and make some big ones too because I've got a lot of ingredients left here. And if you make them bigger like I'm doing here, you can always cut them up and put them in the lunchbox. That's what I usually do if they're way too big. Okay, so these are going to go into the oven now for 20 to 25 minutes, but I'm just going to keep an eye on the smaller ones because I don't want them to burn because they're smaller. So they're all cooked now. I've made 2 different size muffins, small little ones for the bento lunch boxes, and also I've made larger ones if the kids would like a large one. And if I want to put them in the lunchbox, because the bento lunch boxes aren't like as wide as this muffin, I would chop them in half or even give them half each. I've still got a fair bit of banana cake in the freezer from last week, and I also still have the slice as well. So I'll show you what I've got left. So I've got the muffins that I've made today, and I've also got the banana cake from last week. So the kids have eaten probably more banana cake than they have strawberry jam slice. But they've had a bit of this, but not much. So I've still got a pretty big bag of this strawberry jam slice here, and there's still banana cake left. So what will happen now is I'll pop them all in the freezer, and this week they'll have some of these muffins, probably for 3 or 4 days, and then I might give them another bit of banana cake or whatever, but there'll be still leftovers. So what I'm trying to do is accumulate a good standby of morning snacks for school lunch boxes, and then I can rotate it so they won't get so sick of them. Like if I give them this all the time, they won't want it the next week. So I'm probably going to use my resealable bag and put them in the freezer. Thanks everyone for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I hope I've given you some ideas for Fill Your Freezer Friday. May it be school snacks or just meals that you want to pop in the freezer to make things easier for you at night time. There's more of these videos to come every Friday, so if you like this sort of content, please subscribe and have a wonderful weekend. Thanks everyone. Bye.